permit me to read his speech. Thank you. Good morning to everyone, and thanks for the invitation to be part of this third Mobile Technology for Development Conference. The chosen theme, Driving Financial Inclusion in the Real Economy, broadly captures the bank's overarching objective to broaden financial access for inclusive growth and societal welfare. Since the mid-2000s, ladies and gentlemen, the bank has leveraged on advances in information and communication technology to push the frontiers of financial inclusion as well as promote the Cashlight agenda. This has broadened the scope of financial institutions to include financial technology firms with innovative financial products and services. In addition, the traditional banking operations have also witnessed significant automation processes as part of the comprehensive digitization agenda. The extent of mobile phone penetration and the supportive infrastructural payment ecosystem has become a potent tool for financial services delivery across various segments of society. These enormous digitization shifts in the financial sector have not occurred in a vacuum. It has taken the efforts of several stakeholders spearheaded by the Bank of Ghana to formulate conducive regulatory frameworks and supportive payment system infrastructure anchored on sound digital financial service policies. The overall objective is to enhance inclusive access to financial services in a manner that positively impacts the real sector. Broadly, the Bank of Ghana expects the financial inclusion agenda would expand financial access to the unbanked and vulnerable in society, drive income-generating activities, and in turn, economic growth and poverty reduction. Currently, Ghana now boasts of a vibrant fintech industry in line with the bank's proportionate regulatory regime, which has reflected in the tiered licensing framework. As of January 2023, 46 fintechs had been licensed to operate, with extensive reliance on local talents and resources. These firms, together with over 700,000 registered mobile money agents, indicates that the financial digitization agenda has contributed significantly to employment generation in the country. Furthermore, the payment system data show that approximately 56 million mobile money accounts have been registered, which serves as a critical mass for digital transformation of the real sector. Another notable achievement of digital financial inclusion is the aggregation of smaller amounts of money from the large registered mobile money accounts base into bank accounts. These accounts had accumulated a total balance of 12.8 billion Ghana cedis as at the end of January 2023, which constitutes an essential component of the bank's deposit mobilization effort with positive implications for financial intermediation. Indeed, ladies and gentlemen, digital technology is enhancing easy access to credit in novel ways. Data generated from digital payment transactions and the GSMA airtime have become valuable inputs for generating credit scores using data analytic tools. Without collateral, micro-enterprises and individuals have obtained instant microloans for economic activities and for emergency financing need. The delivery of such non-collateralized loans through innovative products developed by fintechs is highly commendable. With the emergence and adoption of other new technology tools such as artificial intelligence, machine learning, blockchain, and robotic process automation, fintechs are better positioned to add on to such innovative products and services to significantly benefit small and medium-sized enterprises and further enhance growth in economic activities. In addition to the financial inclusion gains of the SMEs through these financial products and services, the bank has also issued the Merchant Account Categories Policy to promote SME acceptance of digital payments through commensurate onboarding requirements. This is an essential step towards generating immense benefits for the SMEs from digital financial inclusion. To cement these benefits, the Bank of Ghana and the Monetary Authority of Singapore are jointly implementing the Business Sans Borders project, which, among others, seeks to digitally connect SMEs around the world through hybrid data and solutions hub driven by self-learning artificial intelligence, supported by innovative and relevant financial services. On completion of this project, SMEs in Ghana are expected to gain more business opportunities globally. Despite the progress made so far, there is a need to further scale up merchant acceptance through digital payments. This calls for innovative fintech solutions sensitive to the peculiar needs of diverse businesses. The Bank of Ghana's Regulatory Sandbox, which was launched in October 2022, aims to encourage and support such innovations. The first cohort window of the Regulatory Sandbox opened on February 15, 2023, and ended on March 14, 2023. Among the priority areas were solutions targeting merchant acceptance. This is one of the surest ways of embedding digital payments in the Ghanaian society to diffuse the gains of financial inclusion. Fintechs innovators are therefore encouraged to patronize the Regulatory Sandbox when the next cohort opens. Ladies and gentlemen, to further enhance the impact of digital financial inclusion on the real sector, stakeholders must collaborate to promote digital literacy skills. Although functional digital skills are acquired through the use of mobile phones, the transferability of such skills to digital solutions being deployed in other sectors of society could support the quest to establish an inclusive society based on digital technology. Already, some farmers are benefiting from digital apps deployed to disseminate essential information, including weather, fertilizer application, pest migration, diseases, and market prices. Other integrated solutions have also brought together farmers, financial institutions, buyers, and agricultural experts to build an ecosystem of transparency and mutual trust towards improved collaboration. Clearly, this approach embeds digital technology into real sector activities and hence holds substantial promise for digital transformation of society. Fintechs must therefore collaborate with other digital solution providers to educate as well as provide platforms to fast-track the diffusion of digital technology across all economic sectors. Already, the requisite policies and infrastructure for takeoff of a digital economy are in place, alongside demonstrable evidence from the ECD pilot, which is currently in its final stage, to anchor the inclusive digital financial service space. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, let me assure you that the Bank of Ghana is fully committed to building a safe, robust, and innovative fintech ecosystem to support Ghana's economic growth and development efforts. I wish you fruitful deliberations and a successful conference. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam Clarissa. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to correct the constituency of the Honorable Minister. She's the MP for Jabin in the Ashanti region. That's right. Forgive me. I believe I'm forgiven. With a round of applause, shall we invite the Honorable Minister as she gives us her brief speech? Please, let's do it better for her. Yeah.
Thank you. We are getting to a campaign season, so it's very important. My people know I'm still with them. Thank you very much. I'd like to apologize on behalf of my minister, Honorable Esther Owusu-Ekufo. She tried to be here, but something came up, so I have to quickly come in and support and give her speech. It's good to see you all. Happy New Year. It's been a while. Your Excellency, Mr. Blay, I know you're representing our Vice President. representative of the Secretary General of AFTA, our representative from Bank of Ghana, CEO, Ghana Chamber of Telecommunications, Dr. Kenneth Ashigbe, President, Financial Inclusion Forum Africa, our captains of industry, honorable distinguished panelists, other discussants, participants joining us virtually, the media, ladies and gentlemen. Let me first express my gratitude to the organizers, not necessarily for the invitation, but for the opportunity to address a cross-section of people who represent change on the continent. It is important for me because if we want to sustain the progress being made by the big players on the continent for the continent and derive maximum benefit from what technology offers, we must bring others along. Collaboration at any level is therefore key to our collective success in the area of technology. This conference has become one of the leading events that brings key stakeholders together to talk about the digital ecosystem, technology and its impact on the real economy, as well as the sustainable development of not just our country, but the entire continent of Africa. The collaboration between the Ministry of Communications and Digitalization, its agencies, along with members of the Ghana Chamber of Telecommunications, has led to the provision of very critical emergency spectrum to enable us to manage the growth in demand for data, connectivity for public workers to work from home, and zero-rated some websites to enable students to study, just to mention a few. The topic for this year's event, driving digital financial inclusion in the real economy, is so relevant and goes to the heart of the various initiatives by government, that is, making digital technology work for the people. I believe all of us gathered here can agree that technological solutions are not developed for the sake of developing them, and that such solutions are meaningless if they do not solve a challenge in the lives of the average person and improve their quality of life. We have therefore, over the years, focused on improving use, adoption and use of technology by addressing issues of infrastructure, regulatory and policy, and capacity building, all flowing from the Ghana Digital Agenda in 2017 to our current digital transformation agenda. And the private sector has been a critical part of this journey. The strategy is intended not only to position Ghana as the digital gateway to the continent of Africa, but also to take advantage of the creation of the African Continental Free Trade Area. As we seek to ensure connectivity throughout our country, as well as pursue the African agenda, we are extending our digital infrastructure to our eastern, western, and northern frontiers to enable seamless connection to our neighbors. In order to effectively drive digital financial inclusion, we first of all need to drive digital inclusion and connectivity. Ministry of Communications and Digitalization and its agencies, working with the private sector, have introduced many initiatives to narrow the digital divide and empower citizens to embrace the use of ICT. We are implementing the Rural Telephony and Digital Inclusion Project to connect over 3 million people to now have equal access to the innovations and digital initiatives introduced by both government and the private sector. Let me mention a few. We have the mobile money interoperability. We have the national identification card as a single process e-ID. We have the digital skills. Okay, let me go back to the national identification card. Let me take the opportunity to thank the telcos for all the support they gave the ministry during the SIM registration. Let me also mention the digital skills development offered through a nationwide network of digital transformation centers to benefit over 20,000 women entrepreneurs, master trainers, youth and children in coding clubs. We also have focused interventions to reduce the gender digital divide. I smiled when I got to this. And create opportunities for the youth through the Girls in ICT program, as well as nurturing of new businesses at digital incubation centers. For 2023, our target is to train 5,000 girls. And for our sponsors here, MTN and my sister from Vodafone and Airtel Tigo and all the others, we want to do 5,000 girls this year. So please, as you always do, we are just asking for more. I would also want to take the opportunity to thank the Ghana Chamber of Telecommunications for launching the Seat for Ladies in STEM, an initiative that also seeks to bridge the gender gap in STEM related jobs by offering more ladies opportunities for internships, national service placements, employment, as well as mentorship of ladies who are already in STEM jobs. This is an initiative that has my support and that of the ministry. The ministry would work with the chamber to ensure that we approach parity in the STEM job market within half a decade or even earlier. This initiative will be a bridge to the ministry's Girls in ICT project. It is important that we work to ensure that the tech industry reflects our diversity aspirations for our society. As mentioned by His Excellency the President in the State of the Nation address, we have chalked quite some very impressive feats. These include the construction of more NCA licensed fiber optic cables than any other government in the Fourth Republic, 93% of total. Establishment of Africa's first national scale electronic pharmacy platform, provision of free Wi-Fi to 700 senior high schools, 46 colleges of education, 260 district education offices, and an initial successful pilot of 13 public universities. We have also introduced the drones in the delivery of critical medicine, vaccines, and blood to people in remote parts of the country. And today, Ghana has the largest medical drone delivery service in the world, with 6 zipline distribution centers in Ominako, Impaye, Vopsi, Sohi, Yoso, Kitakrachi, and Enum. We also have the deployment of the e-VAT and e-invoicing system. The National Health also has deployed a self-enrollment mobile application, My NHIS app, that allows Ghana card holders to self-enroll in the scheme. And this application enables registration and renewal for oneself and others by linking NHIS cards to Ghana cards. In 2022, over 5 million members' data were linked to their Ghana card to enable them access healthcare using their cards. Under digital economy policy, as a ministry, we are resolute in our plans when it comes to speeding up the development of the right policy and legal environment to facilitate the utilization of digital technology, applications and services at all levels. We are equally committed to developing and protecting our digital infrastructure and enhancing the acquisition of digital skills of our youth. It is only through effective collaboration with stakeholders like you gathered here, along with the implementation of the policies and regulations, that the above stated objectives and more can be accomplished. Following the adoption of the ICT for Accelerated Development Policy in 2003, Ghana has advanced legislative reforms and a supportive regulatory environment, leading to investments in adoption of ICT solutions throughout various sectors of the economy. These initiatives have ushered the country into the digital economy with its attendant opportunities and challenges, including those uncovered by the recent COVID-19 pandemic. Ultimately, the Ghana digital economy policy will facilitate the increased contribution of digital economy to the growth of our national GDP, address national priorities such as job creation and unlocking value in high potential sectors, while strengthening inclusion, safeguarding national interests, and augmenting efficiency in public service delivery. As a government, under the eminent leadership of His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo and his Vice, Dr. Bawumia, we continue to expand the capability for public policy to inspire digital transformation initiatives to improve the lives of Ghanaians. It is against this backdrop that the ministry has been championing the need for a frank and open dialogue on the equitable contribution by big technology companies to the investment needed for the expansion of our telecommunication networks to provide the critical connectivity, not just for Ghana, but Africa's development. I firmly believe that it is about time that as a continent, we ensure that every industry that benefits from our infrastructure and offers services to our citizens contributes their fair share. So big tech, including Facebook, WhatsApp, Google, Amazon, Twitter, and Netflix, just to name a few, need to contribute to the expansion of Africa's network infrastructure that has been built by the investments made by the mobile network operators. They should also make fiscal contribution to our economies. This is a conversation that requires a pan-African approach that I am happy GSMA, Smart Africa, and other organizations are beginning to respond to an issue I have been raising for quite some time. We are watching what the consultations that the European Commission is currently doing about the same issues would result in. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish to reiterate that our drive towards universal access to technology and digital inclusion is meaningless if we do not look at access and usage, especially for majority of our people who are unable to afford it. In doing this, we must look at pricing to ensure it is affordable. Even though we are doing remarkably well by making data affordable, I still think there's still some work that would require a multi-stakeholder approach to drive our prices down. We may have to consider optimal pricing of spectrum and making them available, completing work on the revision of the tower guidelines, and working with other state agencies to reduce the incidence of fiber cuts and vandalization of cell sites. These are policy interventions my ministry is committed to working on, and I'm sure we can continue to show further improvement in the affordability index. In conclusion, I would like to echo government's commitment to ensuring our real economy is running and has the right policy and regulatory atmosphere to blossom in a way that upholds the interest of Ghanaians. That said, I wish to express my profound appreciation to the organizers and sponsors of this annual conference. I see this as a noble contribution towards national development, as it is through this kind of platform that we find ways to build a robust and mutually beneficial ecosystem. Once again, consider our continuous participation as a reaffirmation of government's commitment to building our real economy. Have a productive MT4D 2023. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable. We have heard everything you've said. Another round of applause for her. Thank you so much. Let's take a couple of commercials from our sponsors, and then we'll proceed to the next item on the bill.
Hello, my name is Judith Aduma Bosman, and I'm the Mobile Financial Services Manager for Vodafone Cash, which is M-Pesa in Ghana. Our mission is to become the preferred mobile financial services solution.
Sorry for the interruption, but due to the acidic content of the atmospheric weather condition in the economy, I have decided metal afemuntin kabo editui namunshanenso for wache metal 1 Ghana cedi for jollof rice, 1 cedi 20 pesos for gobe, 80 pesos for kenke tamai and other cow, 1 cedi 50 pesos.
You know what, just get me water.
For sachet water 30 pesos, for bottled water 50 pesos. Oh, moka has me Vodafone Cash, I'm the free. I'm free. Metal.
Transfer charges and bida. Switch to Vodafone Cash today and enjoy 0 charges whenever you send money to all networks. Yes, sending money is free on Vodafone Cash. Only e-levy applies. Dial *110# to send money today.
Hey, it's fufu by this time.
Vodafone.
This is the future mobile money, Huawei FinTech.
Welcome to Disrupt 270. It is the second time in a row. My name is Jerry Ajololo. I'm thrilled.
He's a PhD holder in the information technology with a focus on digital transformation, artificial intelligence, and data science. In addition to working as an executive secretary to the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, He also heads the digitization initiatives of his boss, His Excellency Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. Dr. Augustine Blay has over 15 years' experience of leading technology teams that develop solutions for both U.S. public and private sectors. Dr. Augustine's experience demonstrates his expertise in leading technology projects for large organizations in both the public and private sectors. Dr. Blay has published several papers on topics related to knowledge management, change management, and factors influencing employees' intentions to use their own devices in organizations. He is fluent in French, English, and Spanish, and has authored books such as The Patriotic Youth of Ghana, Profile of the Unsung Heroes and Secret Weapon of the 2012 Elections, and What Ghana Can Teach the World, a case of the 2012 electoral petition. At the Conference on Mobile Technology for Development, Dr. Augustine Blay is representing His Excellency, the Vice President, and will be sharing his insights on how technology adoption and digital transformation can drive economic growth and development in emerging markets. His expertise in government digital services, organizational behavior, and technology adoption will offer unique perspectives on the opportunities and challenges of leveraging technology to accelerate development in low-resource settings. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Dr. Augustine Blay.
Good morning. For a minute, I thought you were speaking about someone else. I don't. You just come to work and work for the good of the country. So, I'm happy to be here. Representatives of the Minister of Communications, Honorable Aslawusu Ekufu, who is here. The rep is Honorable Amapoma Boateng, MP, who still has the people behind of Jabin in Ashanti region. Also the Deputy Minister of Communication, the rep of the Secretary General of AFCTA, rep of the Governor of the Bank of Ghana, CEO of the Ghana Chamber of Telecommunications, President of Financial Inclusions Forum Africa, captains of industry, honorable distinguished panelists, ladies and gentlemen, technology enthusiasts, financial inclusion experts, on and on and on. Good morning. It is an honor to deliver the keynote address on behalf of the Vice President, Dr. Alhaji Mahamudu Bawumia, for this year's gathering on the theme of driving digital financial inclusion in the real economy. Let me express my profound gratitude to the Ghana Chamber of Telecommunications and the Financial Inclusion Forum Africa for organizing these events once again, the third edition, to bring together stakeholders of Ghana's telecommunications, financial industry, and of the vibrant digital financial service ecosystem. This is an idea forum, the exchange of ideas on how best to leverage mobile technology for our continent's development. Let me commend all stakeholders who have committed time, energy, resources, and financial resources to make this event possible. I am pleased that the Mobile Technology for Development Conference, which the Vice President had the honor to launch in 2020, has not only become a platform for industry engagement to shape our local digital ecosystem, but has also helped position Ghana as a major destination for global technology investors. I want to thank you all for making this possible. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, digital financial inclusion has become a global phenomenon that is transforming the way people transact and manage their finances. It has the potential to provide access to financial services to millions of unbanked and underbanked individuals, which is critical for inclusive economic growth. However, as we all know, the real economy is where economic activities takes place, and digital financial inclusion must be integrated into the real economy to have a tangible impact on our citizens' lives. This is why I believe the topic, driving digital financial inclusion in the real economy, is very appropriate at this juncture in our economic development. As a country, we have made significant strides in the digital financial inclusion agenda. Today, Ghana is recognized as a success story and a global hub for digital innovation and disruption, therefore attracting both talent and funding to this country. The government, through the Ministry of Finance, launched the National Financial Inclusion and Development Strategy, NFIDS, for 2018 to 2023, which outlined our ambitious vision to reduce the financially excluded in our society from 25% in 2015 to 15% by 2023. By dint of hard work, commitment, and collaboration of all stakeholders, we surpassed the 2023 target in 2021. Indeed, the Ghana Demand Side Survey report indicates that 95% of our adult population, 15 years and older, use both formal and informal mechanisms to manage their financial needs. To emphasize, from a target of 15% in 2023, we achieved 5% financial exclusion in 2021, making Ghana one of the most financially included societies in the world. The State of Inclusive Instant Payment in Africa report, which was launched at the Mobile World Congress Africa in 2022 in Kigali, Rwanda, found Ghana far ahead of her peers in regard to financial inclusion. Ghana, remarkably, was the only country that scored 100% on access to financial inclusion. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, often a time, when these milestones have been achieved, we often lose sight of the deliberate and well-thought-out steps we took to get there. There are four main components of this financial inclusion paradigm: the banking sector, consumers, the business, and finally, government. The government of Ghana had to set up the policy framework needed to integrate the payment platforms. So first, government, through GIPS, integrated the banks to make them interoperable on the back of GIPS Instant Pay. Then GIPS introduced a biometric payment system called eSwitch, which was also made interoperable, before moving on to integrate the mobile money operators into an interoperable platform. GIPS CEO, Mr. Achi Hesi, put it eloquently when he said the following: by making all the three platforms interoperable, we ensure that no matter who is making the payment and from wherever the person is, they will be able to do so seamlessly and instantly. As a result, as the rep of the Bank of Ghana said, 56 million mobile money accounts were created. Following the successful implementation of the mobile money interoperability platform, we set out to create an enabling regulatory and policy environment for the development of digital financial services as a poster child for Ghana's economic transformation. This led to the launch of three key policies. One, the National Financial Inclusion and Development Strategy was developed with the specific aim of increasing financial inclusion from 58% to 85% by 2023 in order to help create economic opportunities and reduce poverty. Two, the Digital Financial Services Policy built on existing technological gains to create a resilient, inclusive and innovative digital ecosystem that contributes to social development, a robust economy, and a thriving private sector. 3, the Cash Light Roadmap put forward concrete steps to build an inclusive digital payment ecosystem. This includes better access to financial services, enabling regulation and oversight, and promoting consumer protection. As part of these policy efforts, the government set up a new digital payments coordination unit to drive effective stakeholder engagement on the implementation of key actions. These successes, ladies and gentlemen, were consciously and deliberately created by harnessing an enabling policy environment and fostering private-public partnerships to ignite growth and development in the real economy. While these are significant milestones, we must recognize that digital financial inclusion is not an end in itself. We must integrate digital financial inclusion into the real economy to improve financial resilience, boost economic activities, and reduce poverty. On the consumer side, the expansion of financial inclusion requires the establishment of trust of consumers in the financial system, trust of the financial sector in the identity of consumers, and trust of consumers and the financial sector into government to regulate and create a safe environment to conduct digital financial transactions. On the back of the successful implementation of the Mobile Money Interoperability Platform, government proceeded to biometrically register Ghanaians on the National Identification Platform, in which about 18 million Ghanaians are registered on it biometrically. The 10 fingers, the eye, 2 eyes, irises, their face, making 13 biometric elements captured to ensure that the identity of the Ghanaians that are registered is immutable. It is important to also pause here to understand the importance of platform economy within the context of financial inclusion. In essence, the establishment of a virtual community of consumers, a virtual community that's vibrant, active, and collaborative. The real economy must have a certain sure presence in a virtual real economy. Platforms such as Uber, TikTok, Facebook, social media platforms create a semblance of a real economy where there's a virtual identity exists. But within our ecosystem, we should not create siloed platforms where siloed virtual communities if you want to expand the financial inclusion. Within the platform, as many have said, we look at giving loans, credit scores, but beside that, the platform economy gives an opportunity for consumers to use their knowledge to establish their credibility, through which they can have access to financial resources. Today, I would therefore like to outline some of the key steps that we have taken to drive financial inclusion in the real economy. These steps include expanding access to digital financial services, promoting financial literacy and education, improving regulatory frameworks, and investing in infrastructure and innovation. These key points are self-explanatory, and we are all experts. I don't have to get into detail of that. But in terms of expanding access to digital financial services, we must make sure that it's easy. The government makes sure that it's easier to pay for transactions. Different payment channels have been established, the QR code. And we continue to work with the Ministry of Communication and the stakeholders and the private sector to reduce the cost of data associated with these transactions. Promoting financial literacy and education, I encourage the fintechs and the actors in the financial inclusion framework to adopt a concept of catch them young, As much as they seek to educate our young ones in technology skills, they must also educate them on how to use financial service, digital financial transactions or services to save and conduct transactions. In the area of improving regulatory frameworks, we must look at how to protect the data as more platform comes online and more fintechs come online and more transaction comes online. It is important to understand that data has to be protected. Not only data, but access to the back-end tools of these platforms have to also be protected. We must look at regulatory to ensure that clearances are put in place and that platform being built or system being built are done in an ethical manner. Agri-tech, edu-tech, health tech, and clean tech are all in the real sector of our economy. That will require a lot of attention, but they all sit in the same principle where you have consumers, you have investors, you have the banks, you have government. We have paid a lot of attention to fintech, and the results are there for everyone to see. I will urge that we adopt ecosystem paradigm and learn to work in teams so we can build unicorns within the fintech and other tech sectors as well. However, in the real sector, we must work to ensure that we adopt technology to resolve the challenges within our agricultural value chain, increase our productivity, reduce the drudgery in the sector, and make agriculture attractive to the Generation Z. We should not miss the benefits of the COVID pandemic and deploy technology in education and healthcare as well. This will enable us to maximize the limited human resources we have and ensure that our people, no matter where they are able to get access to the best healthcare and educational facilities. The Vice President, Alhaji Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, announced last week the government is working that by the end of the month, we will have a program in place that every Ghanaian child born will have an ID associated with the person that will follow the person from birth to death. Working to contribute into building trust in this ecosystem. It is for this reason why I will urge the Ministry of Communication and Digitalization to work with the NCA and members of the Ghana Chamber of Telecommunication to ensure that we have complete national coverage of 4G network in every nook and cranny of the country. Then speed up work on the 5G roadmap for the country. 5G in Ghana, and for that matter Africa, is a matter of when, not if. If the decision on when to launch 5G is often based on a number of factors, the decision on when to launch 5G is often based on a number of factors in the local market that reflect the readiness of operators to roll out 5G networks and readiness of customers, consumers, and enterprises to adopt 5G services and 5G-enabled solutions. As a government, we will work to ensure an enabling environment, to ensure that there is congenial environment to attract the necessary investment and facilitate the right use case for 5G. More fiber deployment and other complementary connectivity technology to ensure we are ready for the future. We need the best connectivity to take advantage of IoT, AI, and other digital transformation technology to ensure that we can develop the real sector of our economy. The next few days, we will be paying attention to the discussions that address these points, and we'll count on your honest input as we continue to build one of the most formidable and diverse modern and digitized economies. Ghana is not big enough for us all. It is the reason why I'm happy that the Secretary General of the AFCTA has been represented here. Our efforts should be geared to Africa as a market. We should learn to work among ourselves and also collaborate with our brothers and sisters on the continent so that we can scale up our innovations and solutions. I wish the conference fruitful deliberations. I look forward to learning about the recommendations from this event to grow our digital ecosystem and position our country, Ghana, as a leading innovation hub in the sub-region. Thank you, and God bless our homeland, Ghana.
Thank you so much, Dr. Augustine Blay. Another round of applause for him, ladies and gentlemen. That was good. All right, so we'll be moving into the next phase of the conference, much more detailed, a part where we're going to have a panel sit here, and then they're going to go into details, have more thought-provoking conversations still around the theme, driving digital financial inclusion in the real economy. But before that, we're going to have a 10-minute break so we can set up the place. We have some sort of coffee, set up at the back. So we're going to have all of us move outside, and then we will do that. But before that, I would like to invite Dr. Augustine Blay on stage, joined by all the speakers that we've had so far. We're going to have a number of photos, then we'll move into the next session. So please. Right, so all the speakers, the CEOs and their deputies, please join him here, and let's do that. Whilst they set up, I'd also like to quickly acknowledge some of our sponsors: Vodafone Cash, Huawei, ZPay Ghana Limited, Mobile Money Limited, Stanbic Bank Ghana Limited, Airtel Tigo Money, People's Pension Trust, IT Consortium, Opportunity International Savings and Loans, B-Box Limited, and then our media partners, Joy News, Graphic News Plus, and ABC News Ghana. Let me also remind all of us that we are live on all the Ghana Chamber of Telecommunications platforms. We're live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube, I guess. Yeah. Right. The Nkambom Cultural Group, Nkambom Ye Cultural Group is still outside. They'll be giving us some beautiful local music as we all move outside to have our coffee break. It's just for 10 minutes, so please don't be in a rush to leave. We are back here after 10 minutes to meet the panel and have some more thought-provoking conversations around digital financial inclusion in the African ecosystem. Thank you.